Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Felicia. So today we're going to be making something a little weather appropriate. So if you have a little cold, or even if you have the Rona or the flu, we're going to be making some chicken soup today. So now guys, I'm going to show you the ingredients and then we can get started. So here's our pre-washed, some chicken thigh and some chicken breast, some onion, some shallot or green onions, tomato, garlic, soy sauce, chicken bouillon, seasoning. This is onion powder, garlic powder, then we're using some seasoning salt, some black pepper. I'm going to use a packet of sazon. I'm going to be using my green seasoning to season up the chicken, or you can use any type of sofrito or green seasoning that comes already pre-made in the bottle. I'm going to use some pumpkin. I'm going to be using some corn, potato. We have some carrots, some celery, some parsnips, some turnips. And we're going to be using a can of pinto beans, some Scotch bonnet pepper, thyme, some chicken broth. And then we're gonna get started, guys. So over here I have my pot boiling with some water. I have the kettle. I'm gonna put some water inside of here. And I have my frying pan ready for this chicken. So once I start seasoning, I'm gonna fry up that chicken and then we're gonna throw it into the pot. This is a 14-liter pot. I just have that running on medium. Then I have my kettle on, warming up some water. We're gonna get into seasoning this chicken, and then once we do that, I'm gonna throw some oil, let that heat up, and then we can get started. So I washed my chicken with lemon and vinegar. Today I'm gonna be using chicken thigh and chicken breast. So I put 5 tablespoons of green seasoning. I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 2 tablespoons of seasoning salt, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder. Then I'm just gonna season that chicken up and then I'll be right back. Okay, now that my chicken's all seasoned up, I'm gonna head over to the pan now. I'm gonna put some oil. You can use really any kind of oil. I'm gonna be using some olive oil though. So what we're gonna be doing is we're browning our chicken before we throw it into the pot of boiling water. Right now I have 5 quarts of water in this pot. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add my box of chicken broth into the pot. Then I'm gonna put the cover back on that and I'm gonna let it boil on medium. Okay, so our oil is hot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add in my chicken. I had cut my chicken into cubes. Just gonna let that fry. Whatever excess seasoning you have in this bowl, you just throw some boiling water into here and throw it right into that pot. More flavor. While that's boiling, I'm gonna crack open this can of beans and I'm just gonna throw that right in there. I'm gonna let that get boiled down and mash it up into the pot to create a thicker soup. Okay, so your can is always going to have this extra liquid in it. You don't want that. So you're going to drain that off. You're going to use a rice strainer or a strainer and throw it in there to drain off the water. Okay, now that you've drained off your beans, what you're going to do is you're just going to add that into the boiling water. Mind you, I'm using pinto beans today, but you can use kidney beans. I prefer either or. kidney beans or pinto. I wouldn't use black beans for this kind of soup. So I'm gonna turn up the fire a little bit. I'm gonna put it right under high and let that boil down. So the chicken is frying up. It's starting to get a little brown. You can see it, that piece starting to get more brown. The beans I already mashed up inside of the pot. I'm just waiting for the rest of this chicken to get brown. And I'm going to throw it right into the pot. You want the liquid to dry down. Now it's brown the way I like it. So I'm just going to take it out the pot and I'm going to put it into the bigger pot. You see how it's burnt at the bottom? I'm going to show you a trick to getting that off. That's really all the seasonings and the flavor, really. So you see how that's burnt at the bottom? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some onion. I'm going to take a little bit of tomato. And that's going to get rid of all of those burnt, nice seasonings just at the bottom there. And I'm just going to throw it right into the pot. Okay. You see how that's just going to stir it around. Slowly lifting all of that off the pot. See how it's removing everything? So I throw that into the pot. If you're still having trouble getting it off the pot, what I did was I took a few tablespoons of this liquid, threw it right in there, lifted it all up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add that into the pot. So boom. So I fried up a little bit of my seasonings, like my onion and my tomato inside of the frying pan after I finished frying up the chicken. And now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to add in the rest. So I'm just going to add in my parsnip, my carrot, my celery, and my turnips right into the pot. I'm going to add in the rest of my tomato. I'm going to add in the rest of my garlic. Some beautiful colors in there. I'm going to turn up the fire. I had lowered it. I'm going to put it at 8. I'm going to add in my green onion or shallot. I'm just going to add in the corn, the potato. I'm going to put in a few. And also the pumpkin I'm going to add in right now. I'm going to add in our packet of sesame. Okay guys, so I'm going to also add in my chicken bouillon. Look at the colors. Everything's going to start to boil. I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to put the cover on it. Let it boil down a little bit. So I'm going to add in my thyme. Just going to crumble it up a little bit. That's not all. I don't know. Me personally, I like the stem. Some people don't, but I love it. Just going to mix that in also. Nice piece of chicken. Corn. Let everything just boil down. Right now what you could do is you can also taste your broth. See if you need to add in some more seasoning salt. This is so flavorful. And I'm still going to add in a little bit more seasoning salt. I'm just going to add in my soy sauce. That's just going to bring out the flavor a little bit more. I'm just going to throw in my stir that in. just gonna run another kettle of water. I'm gonna fill it up to about 12 quarts, and then I'm just gonna let this all boil down together. Some people like to add in chicken soup mix. It's up to you if you want to. This has like little noodles in it. It just adds to the flavor of everything with the soup. But it'll be perfectly fine if you just season it yourself. If you didn't want noodles, sometimes you can add in dumpling. I'm gonna show you one of my recipes with dumplings soon, so make some really great dumplings. And then you can't forget to put this bad boy in there. I'm gonna just rest them at the top. So we're gonna cover the pot. Let that boil. So if you're not making a lot of soup, basically when you're going to the grocery store, you can find like pre-made already soup packages. Celery, carrots, all the little ingredients that you need to make soup. You don't really have to put a lot into soup. The more ingredients, the better. But you can keep it simple. If you don't like celery, you don't have to put celery, but celery does add a lot of flavor to it. If you don't like it, like the texture of it, you can chop it up really fine. I like to taste every texture in my soup when I'm cooking it. So you can put onions, potato, you don't have to put the corn, you can put chicken. It's up to you. Whatever you like, you add into your soup. Your soup, you could even put peppers, green peppers, bell peppers if you want to. I'm not a big fan of putting that in my soup, but I've had it and it's not bad. It's just, it doesn't really do anything for the soup for me. So it's up to you. You just want to make sure when you're buying smart. A lot of my fresh ingredients, I go to up the block to Aldi's. You want to shop smart. All these ingredients, you can find fresh ingredients anywhere. You don't have to spend too much money. Soup is very cheap. You don't even have to do the chicken broth. You can leave that totally out of it and just use the broth that you're making from frying up the chicken. You just add some of it back into your chicken. Some people don't like to fry up the chicken. Some people will end up just putting the chicken straight into the pot. That helps with making a broth. Or what you could do is boil your chicken with the water from the beginning. I like to brown it a little bit just so I can get that little extra flavor to it. But yeah, it's simple, it's easy, it's tasty, it's healthy. You don't have to put so much salt. I just put salt to the taste that I like. But you can put a little bit of salt, you can put a lot if you want. I don't know, it's up to you. But if you're trying to keep it healthy, add a little less salt. And you can add more broth to it if you want. Boil in another pot of water. Just don't add cold water into your pot of soup. You want to make sure whatever you're adding into the soup is already the same temperature of the soup. So you just want to add boiling hot water if you're adding anything. So I don't know if you guys see, I'm getting a little festive with my Christmas tree back there. So I put that up, and I'm getting into the holidays. Christmas is a little ways away. Thanksgiving is next week. I'm gonna come back with another video of some Thanksgiving recipes for you guys. And thanks for watching. I'm gonna show you the end of this video, how the soup came out, and stay tuned for the next video. Just want to make sure that you lower your fire and just let the soup just do its thing, melt down. You don't want to force it to melt down. So just let it boil down and work its magic in there. So a lot of people, some people don't really like a lot of spice to their soup. I do personally. So what I'll do is I'll add the Scotch bonnet into the pot, and then what I'll do is I'll let it boil down, but I always keep it at the top of the pot, because if you lose that Scotch bonnet in that pot, it is over. Like when I tell you it's over, your mouth will be on fire and it will be done for you. But unless you like that type of spice, go ahead. But me personally, I like to be able to taste without feeling, I like the taste of spice without feeling like I'm burning my mouth while I'm eating. So you just want to leave it at the top of the pot, let everything start to boil. See, like right now it's boiling. And let everything just start boiling down, melting down. The pumpkin's gonna melt. The potato's gonna boil down a little bit and absorb some of this liquid. So that's why I'm boiling my kettle. And you just take out your Scotch bonnet whenever you feel like you can taste it in the pot. You taste some of the broth, see if it's good enough for you, and then you can remove it. Or you could even cut up maybe like a quarter piece of the Scotch bonnet. The seeds is what really holds the spice. So if you want, you could just remove all the seeds, throw the Scotch bonnet in there without the seeds, and it'll still give it that good flavor and add a little extra to your pot. So there you have it, a delicious chicken, corn, and pumpkin soup. Thanks for watching another episode of Cooking with Phylicia. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions of what I should do next in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.